Season 2 is confirmed for the Eminence in Shadow. Hello people, Seku-Senpai here, and last week I completed Season 1 of the Eminence in Shadow, ending on quite the atomic finale, or I guess really a troll finale. With that said, last week I did mention that I did want to do a review video giving some thoughts and opinions I had on the series, from an anime only perspective since I have not read the light novel or manga anything, so... Anyways, here is this video to give out my thoughts on this really bizarre, epic, unique series that had a lot to deliver. Overall entertaining. So yeah, without further ado, let's do this. With there being more and more anime airing every year, especially when it comes to the Isekai genre, with shows ranging from garbage to decent or simply amazing, it's usually difficult to determine which ones you're about to unfold each season. The Eminence in Shadow for me was one that was on the latter end of that spectrum, and I'm really glad it did. Going into the series, I honestly had no idea what I was getting into. When I read the synopsis live, I was a little confused, but the trailer looked cool, so I decided to still give it a peep. Which surprised me even more considering that by the end of the first episode I realized, wow, this is actually an isekai. The fact that the first episode started off with a famous high school actress who I assumed was going to be the main character to later be a damsel in distress with Sid, or whatever his name was in our world, I could look it up but I'm lazy. But yeah, he was a background character in there. Who throughout the first episode was definitely not normal. I mean, that big bag with all that stuff in there, the crowbars and whatnot. But he came to save her with ease, already sending up his status to be a background character in a really clever way. But by the end of the episode, we get the classic isekai trope. Truck-kun strikes again. Also, I don't know if I was the only one, but when it came to seeing the opening for the first time in, episode 2 I think, was I the one who thought this was going to be like a reverse isekai or some other thing was about to happen? I don't know, it was just me, but I don't know, I felt like sharing that. Regardless, OXT with them dynamite openings as always. After the first episode, with episodes 2 and following, we really get to know Sid, and honestly, without him being the way he is, I don't think I'd be as interested in this series. Considering his goofy role-playing personality between being a background character, Sid Kageno, and also his alter ego Shadow, it's always something to look forward to, and a little refreshing to not have the typical isekai protagonist character journey with the typical training to get stronger, learn magic, yada yada yada, to defeat the demon lord and all that other stuff, or have some special skill and some other gimmick. But in this one, Sid is really just doing whatever he wants and having fun, which for me is more entertaining. Not only that, but he is OP. And I can understand some people not liking overly powered characters. I too am not a big fan of overly powered characters, but if done in the right light, I think it could be really appealing, and in this case I think it really is, especially given his background and goal of becoming stronger than an atomic blast, which he actually achieves, giving us the epic line, "I am atomic." That goes so hard. I don't know, something about the way it's delivered by Yamashita Seichiro. In fact, the series does have a lot of quotable or funny dialogue that just lives rent-free in my head. Like when Alexia is with Iris and she says, "I am confident that I have a finely shaped buttocks." Or even the names like Perv Asshat. Then the list of funny moments from when Sid had his list of different ways to lose and get up when fighting Rose. Alexia with Sid in the hot springs, the neck crack from Anne Rose, Sid acting like Batman, and earlier a gold digger pet to Alexia, Epsilon and the many moments with her fake. You know, her slime. There are so many moments that are just bizarre and funny, it fits well with the story. Touching back to the characters though, one thing I wish I saw more of was Shadow Garden. Yeah, Sid is our main character, and the joke is that he's role-playing to be a background character in a story that he's become the main character of without him realizing it, while also role-playing as Shadow. But the members in Shadow Garden seemed really interesting, especially when we get to see what they're up to on the day-to-day. I'm sure future seasons or even the light novels may cover a bit more on them. Or maybe that spin-off manga series that I literally found out about while typing the script does. But to say some quick thoughts on each of the members of Shadow Garden that we did meet, we have Alpha.
You gonna make me act up.
Beta the novelist, whom I found her interaction with Alexia to be hilarious. Gamma the smart one, and my favorite, it may be an unpopular opinion, but yo, I vibe with Gamma. Delta the wolf girl, who I really wanted to see more of since she was wild as heck, going bizarre and barbaric, and that was cool. I dig it. Epsilon, the one who uses her slime for fan service, and Zeta, who we really didn't see much of this season. Likewise, Ada, who, if I'm not mistaken, is the scientist girl, who doesn't have like a lot of energy, I think. It's towards the middle of the series when we actually get to see most of Shadow Garden, especially touching upon some big plot points with the cult of Diablos and what was going on in the past of this world, which was kind of a little trippy with the scientists and stuff. That kind of took me out for a second, but at that point, we get one of my favorites, I don't know, camera shots in the series. Yo, this scene and many scenes in this series, I don't know, the way it is cinematically directed is just really done well, especially when it's about to go down with the fights. The music gives more impact to this, making it all the more epic. Which, speaking of which, props to Suehiro Kenichiro, who did the background music in the Eminence and Shadow's House, that OST is really nice by the way, Golden Kamuy, Ray Zero, amongst many other works, cause this OST is hitting. Speaking of fights, touching back to Sid being OP, sure, we knew Sid was gonna dominate all fights he was gonna be in, unless he was faking it, like that one time with the heart. But the story building up to them and even the background surrounding them is what gave the fights more impact. With Sherry's father, that whole story where he was the one who killed her mother for her research, then adopted Sherry, is messed up. And you want to see them be killed, or even Sherry to find out the truth. But at the same time, you also feel sorry for Sherry. The only person whom she has left like a relative, even though she still doesn't know that he's the one who actually killed her blood-related relative, is killed right before her eyes by a shadow who she swears vengeance upon, but doesn't even know is Sid, the guy that she's crushing on. I also want to note that display of emotions she had in her second to last scene, that, I don't know, well executed. Sherry seeking revenge on Shadow is a cool plotline that I'm sure we'll see more of later down the line in the series or story. Likewise, another plotline that was interesting was the whole arc with Rose. At first, I thought she was going to be simply just another love interest for Sid, like Alexia, which she is, but the fact that she actually joins the Shadow organization at the end is brilliant. Even with a nice touch in the episode credits, now labeling her as number 666. Alexia is the first classmate of Sid's school harem, whom I personally liked, but by the end is still more or less the same character who yearns to be more involved, yet is still ironically in the dark shadows of not really knowing anything. Iris, I just feel bad for her at the ending. With the last episode being an action-packed fight across the city from 2v1s to Shadow pulling out the crowbars, doing water-surfing magic, stacking them up on top of another like a deck of cards, then being served the biggest troll in the most epic scenes and epic lines of Shadow displaying his full power, about to go atomic in the city, only to troll them by not. Bruh. The disrespect. At this point, I would retire. I know going to the series, it may not be for everyone since the story itself is one I personally don't think is meant to be taken super seriously. Like, there's literally a character named Perv Asshat, and a main character who's just doing things simply because he wants to. As mentioned earlier, it's not a story where there's a villain that the protagonist is trying to take down and save the world from their evil doings. Sure, there's stuff happening in the background with the cult of Diablos and whatnot, but that's not important. We're here to see this dude Sid check off his goals on his bucket list while doing goofy, bizarre, and even epic things to achieve them, while other shenanigans take place in the background. It's a series I think does the job when I watch an episode with the goal is simply to be entertained. Anyways, I kind of rambled throughout this, but I wanted to share some thoughts I had on the Eminence and Shadow. I could have had this up last week, but I was busy with stuff. I was out of town. But I do look forward to seeing some more episodes in the future with a season 2. Anyways, yo, in the comments below, let me know what your thoughts were on the Eminence Shadow. If you want to see some more review videos like this, let me know as well. Me just talking on camera, maybe have some visuals up here and there. I always get hesitant when it comes to review videos. In fact, I always get hesitant with a lot of content. I don't know, despite me having like a really optimistic personality towards stuff, I don't know, I'm really hesitant and I usually think that people may not like stuff like this as much. I don't know, I was really hesitant on putting this together or even recording this. So hopefully y'all enjoyed this. You stuck around to this point in the video. And yeah, like I said, yo, leave a like if you enjoyed this. Feel free to leave a comment. Subscribe for more content. Lets me know that, hey, you want to stick around. I appreciate it. Either way, I appreciate the support at the end of the day. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Check out me on my socials. Feel free to subscribe to the Patreon. Thank you, patrons, by the way. Let me say that right now as well. And yeah, that's all I have to say. I'll see y'all later. Peace and out.